Welcome to Tai Chi. Everybody ready? Let's warm up. Hands at your waist, turn your neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Stretch your neck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Expand your chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Waist exercise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Airplane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Touch toe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your hips. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Be careful. Shift your weight to the left foot. Good Tai Chi posture. Kick your right foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Kick your butt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Turn your knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Heisman, opening up your span, parallel feet, choose the right side, cross and sit on that side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shift weight, cross. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Short one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, practicing our golden cockerel, good Tai Chi posture, dropping those shoulders, tucking your butt, hollowing out your chest, tongue on your palate, chin slightly down, horizontal, vertical danten points lined up straight. Okay, good thoughts going on. Golden cockerel, shift weight to the left, up, push down, pull up. Last set. Kicking out. 50-50. Gather energy, center energy, right hand on the outside, right foot coming up. Follow in line. Shift weight. Left hand, left foot, and out. Last set. Warming up still, holding your ball on a T stance. Root down. Out and to the side, L stance. Split the hands, bow stance, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back. Sit down, pivot, root down, T stance, holding your ball, out into the side, L stance, bottom hand advances to part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot, root down, form your T, form your ball, out on the side, L stance, turn the hips and waist, move that energy to a bow stance. Sit back, sit down, pivot, root down, form your ball on a T stance, step out on an L, move the energy by turning the hips and waist, part the wild horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball, T stance, L stance, turn the hips and waist, move that energy to a bow stance. Sit back, sit down and listen carefully. Twist step, T stance, L stance, bow stance, cloud hands. Let's take it slowly. Flip the forward hand so you no longer see the palm. Join it with the back hand, left hand, where you can see the palm. We're at 3 o'clock. Our job is to get out to the 9 o'clock. This is how we do it. Sit back, sit down. Twist step takes you to 12 o'clock. The stem of the left hand, a cup of the right, as if the right hand is holding a cup or in a cup formation. We want to get out to the 9. We're halfway there. We pivot on our left heel. We don't do anything with our hands, but hands are joining along with us because it's part of our body. So we're going to put our weight on the left heel, and we're going to spin out or pivot to the 9 o'clock. Two things happen. We close the feet, we flip the hands. So the top hand went to the bottom, and the bottom hand went to the top. Right hand is on the top. We turn our hips and waist. We're at 12 o'clock. There should be a stem to the right hand or top hand and a cup 2 inches below your navel of your left hand. Turn the hips and waist a little bit more. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, two things happen. Flip the hands, open the feet. 12 o'clock, stem and a cup. 9 o'clock, only one thing happens this time. Flip the hands. Use your hips and waist to get to 12. We have a stem and a cup. 1, 2, 3 o'clock, two things happen at 3. Flip the hands. What? Close the feet. 9 o'clock, two things happen this time. Flip the hands, open the feet. At 3 o'clock, we have to leave cloud hands. But at 12 o'clock, we shift our weight to the left and we pull up our right hand, pull up our right foot, and we are a golden cockerel. Shift weight to the right, golden cockerel stands on its right. And then we gather energy, we center it, right hand on the outside, right foot coming up, kick out right. Step down, left hand, left foot comes up, kick out left. Holding our ball on a T stance. We're not going to go up the horse's mane, but we're going to ward off our opponent. T stance, L stance, bottom hand advances, forearm your opponent. Push him out. Turn your hips and waist, reposition your hands, and grasp the bird's tail. Sit down. Turn at the hips and waist. Contact at the wrists, turn at the hips and waist, middle of the body, push the energy through, separate the hands, roll back and sit down, spiral up and out. Twist step, T stance, holding your ball. We're going to ward off. T stance, L stance, bottom hand advances to ward off your opponent. Turn the hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail. Turn at the hips and waist to look back. Contact with your wrists, turn at the hips and waist, middle of the body, push through the energy, separate and roll back and sit down, spiral up and out. Okay, closing form. Sit back, sit down, twist. We're going to use our right heel and open pivot. We're going to come in with our right heel. We're going to cross our hands so that the right hand now is on the inside of the cross. Then we're going to move over our right foot. And I'm going to turn around, but you're not going to turn around. You're like this. And you're going to come up. You're embracing the tiger. At chest level, you're going to push him slightly closer to you to get that force to then push him away one last time. Separate, shoulder width apart. Then drop your shoulders, flex your knees, let gravity take you back home. Wrap around. Heel of your left foot comes up off the ground as you now close your form. Okay, so what we did was a shortened version of the 10 forms, starting with parting of the wild horse's mane as part of our warm-ups and got into the ending parts of Yang 10 form. So you could see in an abbreviated way that everything kind of connected. So was it, you could follow? Could you follow? Sorta not, yeah? Because cloud hands is another strategy, another challenge with the hands, okay? But I'm going to teach it as a whole, and then I want you to work on it, and then we'll try to break it down, okay? We're going to take the same portion again, okay? Same portion, all right? And then we're going to start from the beginning, all right? So to get into cloud hands, it comes after parting of the wild horse's mane. So we're going to part the wild horse's mane left, and then we're going to go right, and that's when cloud hands begin, okay? All right? Holding your ball, left foot T stance, left hand on the bottom, holding your ball. We're going to part the wild horse's mane. T stance, L stance, bottom hand advances to go up the horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot, root down, holding your ball on a T stance. We're going to finish off parting of the wild horse's mane. T stance, L stance, bottom hand advances to go up the horse's mane. Here begins cloud hands. Flip the front hand so you no longer see the palm. Join it with the left hand where you can see the palm. So they're staggered, right? They're just like our feet. The left foot is behind and the left hand is short. The right foot is forward, the right hand is forward. This begins cloud hands at approximately 3 o'clock. Next thing we do is sit down and we sit back. What's the next thing? We created an insubstantial foot. So we can pivot now on that right heel, and all you have to do is come to the 12 o'clock position where the left hand has a stem and the right hand is sort of 2 inches below your navel, holding a cup or in a cup formation. Okay, so we took care of 12 o'clock. But our job is to create clouds, and we need to get out to the 9 o'clock. So the best way and the safest way to do it is to use the heel of our left foot. The hands, don't worry about it. Just keep it in that position, but it'll take you out to the 9 o'clock. So we're going to put our left heel with the pressure, spin out, we got to 9 o'clock. But what do we do at 9 o'clock? 2 things happen. We flip the hands, so now the right hand is on the top and the left hand is on the bottom, and we close our feet. Actually, we're supposed to do it simultaneously, but for teaching and for learning, it's okay to do it slower than that, okay? 3 o'clock, 2 things happen. Flip the hands first. Left hand higher, right hand is going to be a cup at 12. Going to open your feet. It's 12 o'clock. And what am I doing? I'm using my hips and waist to get me to the 9 o'clock. This time, 9 o'clock, only one thing happens. 12 o'clock, stem cup. 3 o'clock, 2 things happen. Flip the hands, close the feet. Brings us to 12. 9 o'clock, 2 things happen. Flip the hands, open the feet. This time at 3 o'clock, we need to get out of cloud hands, so we just flip our hands. At 12 o'clock, there's that tendency to weight down on our left and come up, right hand, right foot, golden cockerel. And the other side, okay? Okay, so this is what we did, okay? Watch now, okay? So we started and said that we would do parting of the wild horse's mane. 1, first side. 2 will help us to get into cloud hands. Okay. Okay, this is the front version, front view, okay? Let's see. Is it this one? Okay. Ready? Try it again. Okay. So later, or I'll let you know that there's energy that you're generating within your own system. So part of this is that energy that's helping you to be clouds. It's not only in this movement, you're generating energy all the time, but I guess it's best depicted or understood when you do cloud hands. So just kind of keep that in your mind, okay? So we're doing parting of the wild horse's mane to the left, to the right, and then cloud hands, okay? So T stance, left hand on the bottom, left foot ready to go, root down, because that's where you can store your energy. T stance, L stance, bottom hand advances to go up the horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot, root down, T stance, out and to the side, right hand, right foot advances. Flip the forward hand, no longer see the palm, join it with the back hand where you can see the palm. We're at 3 o'clock. We sit back and we sit down. We twist on our right heel. The right hand forms a cup at 12 o'clock, 2 inches below your navel. So we've addressed 3 o'clock, then 12 o'clock. To get into the 9 o'clock, we use our left heel and we pivot out. The hands went there. We didn't have to worry about our hands. But now we need to close the feet and flip the hands. But let's do it separately. Flip the hands, close the feet. Use your hips and waist to get to 12. Use your hips and waist to get to 3. 2 things happen. Flip the hands, open the feet. 12 o'clock stem cup. This time at 9 o'clock, only flip the hands. 12 o'clock stem cup. 3 o'clock, 2 things happen. Flip the hands, close the feet. 9 o'clock, 2 things happen. Flip the hands, open the feet. At 3 o'clock, only 1 thing happens. Flip the hands, shift your weight to the left foot, come up with your rights, come up with your lefts, down, shift weight to the left, right hand outside, right foot coming up, kick out right. Let's go on to closing after this, okay, or grasping of the bird's tail. Holding our ball on a T-step, but this time we're going to the right first. Right foot ready to go, right hand on the bottom. T stance, L stance, bottom hand advances to push out your opponent. Use your forearm. Then we turn our hips and waist and reposition our hands. and we grasp the bird's tail. Sit back, sit down, turn at the hips and waist to look back. Contact at your wrists, turn at your hips and waist, middle of your body. Push the energy through. Separate and roll back and sit down. Spiral up and lunge forward. Other side, sit down, sit back. Twist step. T stance, left hand on the bottom. L stance. Left hand wards off your opponent. Turn the hips and waist, reposition the hands. Bring down the bird's tail. Contact at your wrist. Turn at the center of the body, push the energy through. Separate and roll back and sit down. Spiral up and lunge forward. Sit back, sit down. Twist with their left heel. Pivot on our right heel. Pivot in with our right heel. Embrace the tiger with the right hand inside the cross. Shift your weight over, but make sure you're rooted down on the left. Rotate on your wrists so that your palms are now facing you. Bring the tiger closer to your chest. Push him away. Separate the hands. Now, how do you close? Drop the shoulders, flex the knees. Let gravity take you back home. Lift up your heel of the left off the ground. Toe, arch, heel, closing form. Okay? So what we're trying to do is try to get a overview of all our movements all strung together. So we're going to come back now and take start it from the commencing form. And then there'll be time where we'll take movements apart, take segments apart and work on them as drills, okay? Dropping the shoulders, good Tai Chi posture. Commencing form, shift weight to the right, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, off the ground, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. Hands rotate to the middle of the thighs. Take a deep breath in as we elevate both hands at shoulder level. Reverse the process, drop the shoulders, flex the knees, make yourselves small. Left hand in the center, right hand rises up higher, opens to the ceiling as you glance. Bring it to the ear. Turn your head and neck, meet in the center as you repulse the monkey. Center the right hand, left hand rises higher. Bring it to the ear. Turn the head and neck, meet in the middle. Push the monkey away, pull him back. T stance, right hand higher, left hand to your shoulder. We're going to brush our knee, multitasking 3 things. Ear, hand, heel, turn the hips and waist, brush knee. Sit back, sit down, pivot, left hand higher, right hand to your shoulder, T stance. Step out on an L, all together to turn the hips and waist, brush knee, 2, final. Sit back, sit down, pivot, hold your ball on a T stance. We're going to part the wild horse's mane. Step out, bottom hand advances to go up the horse's mane. Sit back, sit down, pivot, root down, center with a T and a ball. Step out on an L, turn the hips and waist, bottom hand advances to go up the horse's mane. Flip the forward hand, join it with the back hand. Cloud hands. You're in a bow step. Sit back, sit down. Pivot, 12 o'clock, a stem and a cup. Pivot on your left heel to get to the 9 o'clock. 2 things happen. Flip the hands, close the feet. 12 o'clock stem cup. 3 o'clock, two things happen. Flip the hands, open the feet. 12 o'clock, stem cup. 9 o'clock this time, only flip the hands. 12 o'clock, stem cup. 3 o'clock, two things happen. Flip the hands, close the feet. 9 o'clock, two things happen. Flip the hands, open the feet. 12 o'clock, stem cup. This time at 3 o'clock, only flip the hands. At 12 o'clock, we have a stem and a cup. We shift the weight to the left. Right foot comes up, right hand comes up. Down, shift weight to the right. Left hand comes up, left foot comes up. Down, 50-50. Shift weight to the left, right hand on the outside, right foot comes up, kick out right. Down, shift weight to the right, left hand on the outside, left foot coming up, kick out left. Holding your ball on a T stance, we're going to the right to ward off. Step out on an L, forearm your opponent, turn the hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail. Contact at your wrists, turn at your hips and waist, middle of the body, push the energy through. Separate and roll back and sit down. Spiral up and lunge forward. Sit back, sit down, twist step. T stance, hold your ball. Step out on an L. Bottom hand advances to ward off your opponent. Turn the hips and waist, grasp the bird's tail. Look back, contact, turn again, push the energy through, separate the energy and roll back and sit down. Spiral up, lunge forward, apparently closing. Sit back, sit down, pivot. Pivot on the heel of your right foot. Pivot in with that right heel. We're trying to make ourselves come to a closure. Right hand tucks inside of the cross. This is called cross hands or embrace the tiger. Root down on your left so that you can bring your right foot in. Rotate on your wrist so that now your palms are facing your chest. Bring the tiger closer, push him closer to you, then push him away. You're at shoulder length, width apart. You're gonna drop your shoulders, flex your knees, let gravity bring you back home. Lift up on your left heel, off the ground. This is called closing form. Okay, so lots of work, but now you can see that all the different things that we've been working on are now strung together and makes a one whole, okay? And it sort of makes sense in that the transitions help you, the shifting of weight help you, and all those other things that we call the principles of Tai Chi. Let's get back to cloud hands, okay? So in cloud hands, I know some of you were not here, it's like playing a piano. And it's a sideways motion, unlike all the other movements. So when we play the piano, our toes are like our fingers. We put our finger there and then we firm down. And in this case, we're not too fancy, where two fingers cannot be placed down at the same time. So we're alternating all this time. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this way and I'm gonna still instruct and then you can follow me, okay? So we said that to do justice to floating clouds, we need to move in a sideways motion. So right now we're at 50-50, and we lead with the toe. So we put all the weight on our right foot to allow the left heel to come up. We're on the toe of the left. We can now advance because it's an insubstantial. We put our toe down. We put our arch down, we put our heel down. We firm down, we've got gravity to take care of us. Therefore, the heel of the opposite foot can come up. And off the ground, lead with the toe to close. Firm down on the right now. Lift of the left heel off the ground. Toe leading with the toe. Firm down, safety measure right there. Insubstantial foot comes up, off the ground, alternating this way. But as you could see when we did cloud hands, we had to go the other way. In order for us to go the other way, we have to stop doing something. We have to shift weight onto the right, and we have to bring that left in. So in every situation, the feet know what to do because it's an alternating pattern. And each time it does it, we're going sideways, our feet are parallel, our steps are just shoulder width away. We're always leading with the toe. We're always shifting our weight as if we played the piano, okay? So not too bad for the feet. So you want to get that feet system or sequencing or patterning down very well, just the way we were taught to do a T-step, L stance, bow stance. So then after you lay the groundwork for your feet, then you can build towards your hands. In the hand position now, we're looking at an old-fashioned, sort of an elongated clock that has numbers rather than Roman numerals. And each time we look at the extremities of the clock, something triggers or alerts us that something has to happen, okay? So when something happens at 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 9 o'clock. But each time we're moving, my hands are doing very little, except that curvature at the end of that elongated clock. My hands are making a curve. But what is it that's helping me to move? What's helping me to make myself move? Somebody want to say it? In that area, it's the stomach, but it's more than that. It's the hips and the waist. If I did not move my hips and waist, this is what it would look like, okay? But once I use my hips and waist, I can put my hands anywhere, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock. But I can do this, I can set it up any way, but all I'm doing is using my hips and waist. Of course I am using my feet, but the feet are only parallel and they're only shifting the weight, but the rotation of the hips and waist are helping me with my arms and my fingers and my hands, my wrists, okay? So when you practice, need to work on, and we already warmed this guy up, the hips and waist are the drivers of your Tai Chi movements, of everything that we do, okay? So it's very powerful. The more you can be flexible in this area, the better you are in keeping your core strong, okay? It's not your hands. Your hands are not gonna help you when you fall, you know? You need the strength and the balance and the power of the core down through the middle of your body. Another segment of this is getting in and out of, getting into cloud hands and getting out of cloud hands. So if you can just visually look and see that when we got out of cloud hands, at 12 o'clock we shifted our weight and we became a golden cockerel. We didn't have anything else to fuss around with. We shifted our weight and we just came up. To get into cloud hands, we set ourselves up. We went to part the wild horse's mane, part the wild horses means this way. We flipped our hands, we went this way. And then we used our hips and waists, got out to the 9 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, okay? Sometimes that becomes a problem because it's transitions sometimes are harder to see. They're not, you have to do it in a split second and only one time and get into the right position. Whereas cloud hands, maybe you have 3 repetitions of doing it, and so you kind of can fudge it or correct it. But we can work on it, okay? But to do cloud hands is one of the, it's just like brush knee. It's difficult, but I'd say some of you are doing well on it. Yeah, you still need work on it, but do we want to accomplish everything in 15 weeks? No, we want to start our journey and we want to build on it so that it'll give our system time to get strong. We can't just get strong immediately, okay, but over a period of time. All right, don't worry, but I do want you to do some homework. When we come back again, we'll renew all our movements. And just from what I can feel and what little I can see, I think all of you are improving, okay? But don't let that go, and let it go in words, but really dig down and see if you can get it a little bit better.
Lucille has spent a lot of time trying to get you to move your legs and arms and bodies into specific positions. And that's what you need to learn to do. You need, when you first start, a lot of the things you're doing are trying to figure out the order in which things are done, and then to mimic as best you can what is being shown. And following that, or she alluded to a little bit about it, why are we doing this stuff? We are trying to move energy. And what you're trying to do is first identify where is energy residing, okay, and where you want it to reside. In a stationary position, you just want it to be, say, here, energy is not all over, but it's centered on the ground, but it's also upright, and we talk about the dantian, which is the center of gravity. And basically what it is when you say, what's the center of gravity? It's the point in your body where the distribution in all directions of your body weight is such that this is the center point. Where this goes, and if it's handled properly, the rest of the body goes. So that's one thing. And we've talked about that it's below the navel and central to the pelvis. But everybody's built differently. You got that gentleman there, man, he's got a terrific top, and you got some other people who have terrific bottoms. So it's an approximation for each given body. So that means everybody has to find out for themselves. You focus in that area in terms of movement, and where is this thing, this position, and that's what you're going to learn with Tai Chi. Then she talked about energy. What are we trying to do? All of these movements are expanding on where we're distributing the energy, and before we go to someplace else, we bring it back to the center, and then we start again. So that's what's all this, getting the ball together, getting the ball back out, shifting from one side to the other. You're trying to say, okay, energy is going to be shifted to this side. So you shift it, and then you want it in good position, so everything's vertical right down to the ground, up through your dantian, up through the center part of your body. And then when you finish doing that, what do? You bring the energy back in. Then you're stable here. Then you shift it again. Okay? So all of the stuff, look into what you do, and we keep talking about the core. The core is the central part of your body. That's where all the strength is, and that's where you want to have control over it. And one of the ways to have control is to have good balance. And the way to have good balance is focusing on the dantian, which is the central portion from where the weight is not concentrated, but if you were to focus on how do I maintain my orientation, it's because this is in good position. And then the other one is through the center of the head and through the center of the chest. That helps us so that we're not tipping over this way, otherwise we fall over. Helps us because we use that as an axis, so when we move, we keep it vertical, and to help us, we turn. See, this stuff that's doing this, it's emphasizing not only just shifting weight here, it is shift and turn. This is helping you stay this way, and because you try to stay as straight as possible, you're shifting, okay? Okay. So just remember when you do your movements, you're first learning how to move your hands and feet, but why are you doing that? Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, good job, as usual. Okay, see you next time.